Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 21st episode of the HSBG podcast. I'm your host, Educatedcollins, and I'm here with my constant co-host, Shady Bunny. How you doing, Shady?
I'm doing very well, Collins. How are you this week?
I should clip that and just have a button. I press that button, and it's just like, but I have to
Boom.
change the
Shave off 25 seconds of talking.
of
Excellent.
effort, not of talking, of effort.
I don't know. Would the clipping and making the button and all that, would that not be more effort than
Well,
just,
it's
doing
okay.
the greeting?
So let's say it takes me like 5 or 10 minutes to record a audio session and have something to play. Only thing I need to change is instead of saying 21, I say 22. I say 23.
But it's like a
Right?
robot voice, like 23rd.
No. So I'll just instead of saying the whole spiel, I'll just say, I'll just wait for it. 21. That's my job. So instead of saying like 20 seconds, it goes down to 1 second. So let's say I'm saving 19 seconds, right? So if it takes like 5 minutes to make it, and then I save
Sure.
20 seconds, let's say. So every 3 episodes, I'm saving an extra minute. So by episode 36, 37, bam, I have saved time off of my life. Huh? Genius, right?
But you're adding the stress of having to wait there. Wait. Okay, say the number.
Yeah, but instead of the stress of having to
Let's
say
get started.
instead of the stress having to say the whole 20-second thing perfectly, I just now have to say the number. It's beautiful. I think I might invest in that. Anyways,
Go
how
for
you
it.
doing?
So my week, I guess, overall has been more practice with leveling, I guess.
Yeah.
I was very, very big on tier four, and it feels like tier four is weaker. I think I talked a bit about that yesterday, not yesterday, last week.
Yeah, I remember.
And today I took it to the extreme because I had a string of games where I just, like we're talking Galacront turn five, Scallywag Eliza. We're talking some brutal, brutal stuff where it didn't really matter if I was going to be able to, stabilize on tier four or not. I still think that there's a place and a time, but I just had this experiment where I was just like, all right, well, tier four is not an option. So, no matter which minions were in, no matter which hero I was offered, I had to go for like some large scaling option or die trying pretty much. And that went actually really well. When I had then the safety net was removed, I was like, all right, I have to do it, right? I have to be on five, I have to be on six. Some games, we die tragically close to popping off, right? Get a sixth place with a golden agam and a flat tusk. You're like, come on, man, one more turn. But it was cool. It was fun. So I'll
You're
definitely be continuing that experiment.
you're just reminding me of some of my games like yesterday and 2 days ago, especially yesterday. I had this George game where I rolled. I had a macaw, a Goldrin, and like one beast, and I had like one gold left, and I rolled into four macaws, or something like that, and I had one gold left,
And that's just Prage. Don't
and
kill me,
and
don't kill me,
and
don't kill
I
me.
was like, we're dead, aren't we? We're dead. We're so dead. I was so sad, dude.
It's
Oh my
heartbreaking, man.
god. It tilted me for the rest of the stream, I think. That like
Yeah.
I've never you
That's
just
particularly nasty. That's
it's
particularly
so
nasty. Yeah.
mean. Anyways. And I had another game where I had like a good like Nomi setup or something like that, and I died. But
Yeah.
who cares about that one,
Like I had one
dude?
like tier six, two genies, and then you die. You're like, no, come on, man.
But anyways, yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm very familiar with that playstyle shit.
I'm gonna say, right? So call it the Collins experience, right? Where it's like there is no tier. I was like, I did it in Arnold, like there is no tier four. You have to level.
I, I, I,
So
I do probably play more tier four than I like to, probably due to you, right? Like the shiny
yeah,
influence. Like,
like
oh
with our
yeah,
powers combined, right? It's perfect because like I can, like if we played together for like let's say, oh man, I really would love this like duos tournament, right? We're just like instead of both playing your it's just co-oping, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think we'd be so good at it. Anyway, because
Nice.
whenever we're in like, all right, don't worry, Collins, I've done this millions of times. Don't level. You got the setup, you got the arm, you got everything.
Yeah.
And then any other game is just like, all right, we're leveling. Let Collins guide me on tier 6 here.
Very, very fair enough. But yeah, it's been fun. There's a new patch. I unfortunately we'll talk about it, but there's a new
Yeah,
hero.
bird hunting has not been going that well.
Yeah. I don't know why the birds have been flying away from me. I haven't been able to match a few, but I want to. It seems like an interesting hero. But yeah,
Yes.
next topic is the patch. I knew I was be doing that, so I don't know why I talked about the patch immediately. Should have been like, oh, speaking of the next patch, topic, but it didn't. Patch 21.0 came out, so I like the nice clean number. If you like the number 21 as well,
Clean
um,
slate.
yeah, they're always like point 0, point 0.8 or something like that. It's like, come on, just add a one and be done. Why are you adding a point 0.2 to the patch? But yeah, it's fair. There wasn't a lot of crazy BG patch, right? This was more of a reveal for the new expansion. So they added some BG things that we're gonna talk about, right? Cosmetics came out this patch and things like that. So there's been a couple new additions, but the more interesting or the more important things we will be talking about. I think one of the more important ones that was revealed but not really talked about, I don't think a lot of people have discussed it, will be our next topic. There was a Yashiraj bug fix, but it's more of a buff. They fixed it where the battleground hero power would not take into the account the newly summoned minion. So anytime you play Yashiraj and you hero power, you always go second, and it sucked. Like there's not
Was about time.
was didn't really make any sense. It's like, why am I playing this hero? I pretty much lose a lot of my games because I'm going second. Especially when you're like leveling and hero powering, right? Sometimes you like being able to attack first, right? If you have a spawn or anything like that, it's like so important. So uh this this makes sense. I'm glad they realized it needed to be changed, right? Sometimes you have these like little bugs, annoying things, and they're like, it's not important, they don't change it. But this one, like it hurts the win rate quite a lot for a bug. A bug, it hurts the win rate quite a bit when you
For
take
sure.
like 5 or 6 or plus extra damage that you could have avoided if you just went first. So happy they changed that. Maybe people will start playing Yasharaj a little bit more, and it's something you had to look through the notes. It's not like an obvious thing that they put. It's like a little like aside, hey, we fixed this game breaking bug for this hero. Like, okay, that should it should be higher up on the tier. But I guess it's a bug fix because it's like easy to fix. They didn't like, it's not like a whole new hero you have to add, but it definitely changes how you play this hero and that you feel a little bit safer when you're hero powering. So I'm happy for it.
Yeah, it did affect where you're just thinking, oh, I can't afford to hero power anymore here, right? You did it, Yashraj a lot of the time rushes tier 6. You get one, maybe two 6 drops, and then it's like, I'm not sure if I, really want to take the chance here. Especially if you have an Eliza at the front, you just really don't want to
Yeah.
guaranteed go second.
Yeah, Eliza at the front. Sometimes you get like Nat Pago spawn. You get Macaw. There's a lot of minions that just going first is really important. So being able to feel a lot safer, like, oh yeah, it's not guaranteed loss. It's like only 50-50 now. Like that's a lot better. Yeah, but I
Yeah, for sure.
happy they fixed that, and that's something to keep in mind if you like this hero, or you want to play the hero, see how it feels now. Definitely, it's definitely an improvement. Like win rate went up 1% at least. So I like those numbers. Next topic we should be talking about. So if you look in the BG collection manager, don't know if you guys use that or know it exists. They revealed some stuff. They've revealed new cosmetics. I put some of my favorite as I was looking through some of them. But yeah, some new
Yeah, the
cosmetics.
Cthulhu is very good.
Yeah, cut. Oh yeah.
Cute food, I think you saw
Yeah,
there.
no, these are good. I'm a little sad you can't buy these with a gold, but I guess it's not game breaking, right? Like it's just a visual change. So
Yeah, just cosmetics,
yeah,
skins.
yeah, they want to get some money. Put gold and everyone has it pretty much. I would, have all of it. But yeah, I think they're fun if you like cosmetics and that kind of thing, and you have the money to spend. Then definitely there are some cool ones. Yeah, some cute ones in there. So
Is the dragon, is that the Reno version?
that is Reno. That
Okay.
is Reno. Yeah, I was like, wait, I don't know WoW lore, by the way. So this is like a shocker to me.
I'm not sure, like, okay, I don't know that part of the lore either, if it
Okay.
is lore,
Okay.
but maybe they just went like, "Hey, Reno loves gold. What else loves gold? Dragons love gold. Hey, right? Let's just turn him into a dragon,
No,
gold
the
hoarder." I don't
canon is Reno is a dragon. He's secretly a dragon. That's my prevailing theory, right? Secretly a dragon. That's his true form. I don't know the lore, so but that's what I'm guessing, right? Like
Oh, like Alex, Onyxia, Deathwing, right? Like those are all,
Reno Ghost. That's his name.
Reno goats. Yeah, very, very classic WoW lore. Yeah.
I don't know. I buy it. Like if someone told me that, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. I dig it, but who knows? Anyways,
Looks
cosmetics.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. In when the patch came out, every game had like someone with a different cosmetic, and now I'm like, I don't see them anymore. The people that bought it early, I don't know.
I will say for the beach set looked really underwhelming for me. Like I looked at it because I kind of wanted to try out the rag, but it was like, ugh, a lot of these skins are just like, I don't like it, man. Like I think the Maev one in particular, I'm just like, like the I mean the Millhouse one is
Yeah.
more like, the Millhouse is like volleyballing with a pyroblast, and yeah, if you like that kind of art, sure, but for me it didn't look great.
I think you're
Um,
buying it just for the rag
you're
alternate
pretty
board.
much
Yeah,
buying it from the rag, yeah.
yeah, I would think
Um,
so too.
I don't know. I felt okay. Maybe I just maybe I'm not into the pool party theme, right? So because I guess your hands are a little bit tied if that's the theme, right? Right, Rag is this. It's got his tiki hut and he's pouring cocktails or whatever, and you want to stay in theme. Then sure, you probably don't have many options, but did not look very cool. Or at least like the Cthulhu one here is not cool, but it's cool anyway, right? You want it. It's not like fearsome or anything like that, but you would want it. It's like it looks neat, I guess. That's the word.
That's fair. I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on what heroes are getting the skins, right? Like, cause a lot of like
Yeah,
a lot of the times you're looking at the heroes and you're like, I don't even play these. I don't even want to play these. Like,
it's gonna affect your decision making a
yeah,
little bit, right?
yeah,
You're like, oh, I do have the skin for this one.
yeah.
Like Tick could be like on the border where you're like, oh, I have the ticket of skin. Oh, I'll take him here. I'm
Oh,
not playing with this guy.
yeah, that's an issue too, right? Like you're seeing people playing heroes that they shouldn't be playing just because they have a skin. You're just like, oh, my Illidan skin is sick. Let's go.
I think Maiev is one of the examples
Yeah,
where I haven't really been able to make her work, even though I was semi-optimistic at the start. It just feels like it's such a small margin for error. It almost never feels worth it for me.
I wonder if they're gonna start like buffing the heroes with skins. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no one's playing our Mayav skin. Well, let's uh, let's buffer up back up.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Like what if we turn it into 2 turns? Would that be too strong?
That'd be too strong. Yeah.
We've printed this, these other heroes like Hooktusk and Janus. Surely Maiev on 2 turns is fine.
Yeah.
I'd be
Being,
okay with that. I can play Maiev again.
oh no.
Uh,
Well, I don't
um,
know. I mean, maybe two
I mean,
turns, but no stat buff or something like
you
that.
wouldn't give it +1/+1
Yeah.
anymore. Let's just turn it into like +1 attack, or
No,
that's
no,
very.
like zero, no attack buff.
I know,
Like,
I know. Just
no, No, none of that.
I'm down for that, man. Screw the +1
What
attack.
if
Just
you
give me the
What
negative.
if you lose an attack instead?
Yeah, that's too much. That's too
You
much.
think
But
so?
then, yeah, you like pin a micro mummy. It's a 0-2. You're like, oh god,
It's a
that's
0-2. Come
unplayable.
on, it's.
Oh, 0-2.
All right, I hear what you're saying. Where it might be too much. Yeah,
No.
fair enough. You lose one health, so you can't hero power things. No tokens.
Yeah, like Hero Power Alley Cat is just a
It's
1 and
dead.
0. You
It,
play it, it
it
dies.
dies. Yeah,
You
you
just
can
get the
only
token.
hold it for triples. That sounds absolute awful. That sounds
Yeah,
absolutely awful.
let's not go deeper on that
Yeah. All
train.
right. Next thing, we're going straight into some of the stuff. So I believe we're talking about the new hero. So we recorded this on Monday. Dear, that's our prevailing sentiment. Because I have
Yes.
not touched. I've not hit this hero. I was like, okay, so I haven't got going, but at least Shady will. That was my thought. Like, oh, Shady will have. And Shady comes to me, is like, oh, I haven't got the hero, and I'm just like, no.
No. Tried so hard, man.
Yeah.
2 full days of just going. Like, I think today I even went close to 9 hours just to keep going. I was like, it's not gonna happen, is it, chat? Okay. So yeah, I mean, it is how it is. I think Sliss complained on Reddit and Twitter about this as well, where for content creators, God, it's so random, right? Sometimes you get them first game. Sometimes you don't see it for 3 days, 3 full days of playing. You can just get, you can dodge this hero.
And then everyone else gets to play the hero, and you're
Yeah,
just
it's like the
watching.
Squidward meme, and they're like hopping outside and like playing Galway, and you're just like, still haven't gotten him. Oh, yeah.
But so
Anyways,
far, yeah, just in terms of watching other people play the hero, right? It looks fun. It looks playable. I've seen a lot of games where he dies early. I think it's because they're
oh,
hyper leveling and stuff like that. And they just get
yeah,
punished, right? Because I see people like they're like Tavern 5 and they have like 9 HP, and it's like you're gonna die.
yeah.
Like even if you're on 5, you're still gonna die.
So that
So
has not been my experience. People in my lobby have been crushing,
crushing. I've
like,
seen. Okay, I've seen. Like
absolute domination on this
I
guy.
I will say I've seen that too, right? Like I've seen people crush, but it's like two extremes, and I think it's because like especially early, when like it just came out, right? People just looked at it. It was like, okay, upgrade your tavern tier. I'll pick that hyper level, and then I'll win, right? And
Pressing the button
yeah,
till you're dead.
and then you're dead, yeah. But I think later on, people are like they've gotten better. Like, oh, you don't need a hyper level like that. You can just like,
Yeah, you just need to fix the curve. I
yeah,
think this is one of those heroes where it will get theory crafted, and once it's down, once the
it's
science,
amazing, yeah,
it's a monster. I
yeah.
think once the science is in it, it's a monster. Because I've just whipped out the notepad and just typed up a bunch of curve, and some of them looked really good on paper. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be nasty, right? Like the amount of tempo you gain here. But yeah, a lot of the time people are a little bit too simplistic in that. We're like, oh, so I'll just like level straight to 6 and I'll just spend my first gold on 6 and that looks pretty good, right? I can buy 6 drops and
I
turn
like that.
early.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that sounds
but
good to me.
a lot of the time you take 40. So the I think this reminds me a little bit of when Bran got released and we were like, huh, the stats are
That's
absolute garbage
that's.
for Bran. Sorry, go ahead. What?
What do you mean the stats are absolute
So
garbage?
when we looked at Bran, we're like, this is gonna be so strong.
Yeah.
And then it got released and it was really underperforming.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but then I've watched really good players play Bran, and I've been playing Bran with
Yeah.
the stay on tier 1 curve, and oh my god, it feels really good then.
I haven't
Because
been
you're
staying on one, but I still win my games.
sure, I mean,
You
you're
know,
Collins.
you don't have
You
to. I'm just saying
you
you don't have to
can't
stay
give
on
you
one.
can't give Collins a free brand. What the hell were they thinking, Giving Collins a free brand. Yeah, but anyways, like I just want to draw a parallel where, yeah, we might see some people underperforming with this hero right now, but I think the power is there. Just like with Brand, the power is there. People just need to figure out the curve, right? And I think the staying on one thing with Brand is very powerful. For those of you who don't know, you can stay on tier 1 with Brand. You can roll for tokens, and a lot of the time on 8 gold, you're going to be tier 4 because you level 2 times on 7 gold and level again on 8 gold. Then you play your goldens, your golden tokens, and you pull 5 drops, and it's a very Jandis-esque experience where you're guaranteed a brand. It's very powerful. So with Galewing, the curves I've seen thrown around, like for fairly simplistic start, is the Iron Forge into Eastern Plaguelands, which is in 3 turns from now, you're going to discover a minion. A lot of the time, they level on 5 gold to tier 3, and then they pull a 3 drop, and then they equip the other flight path, or whatever you want to call that. They pick the Eastern Plaguelands one, and then 5 turns from then, they will get a free tier, which a lot of the time allows them to roll on tier 6. The other one is Eastern Plaguelands first to power level, and I guess take a free tier 4, and then Iron Forge to hopefully pull a 6, more probably pull a 5, depending on how the game is going. What have you been saying?
Oh, I've been okay. So I think Iron Forge into Eastern Plagueland is better. But I think a
Yeah,
lot of people that I see die are doing the Eastern Plagueland
Eastern
first.
Plaguelands
Yeah, and
first.
then they
Yeah,
just hyper level and die. So I think the safety net of just like having some type of early game spike with the Iron Forge, especially when you can level and get a 3 if the 3s are good, right? With dragons and stuff, or
yeah,
the good 3s are in, right? Makes a lot of sense. And then Eastern Plagueland, it's like tier 8 prize, essentially, right? You're
yeah. You
like,
get on the house.
yeah.
It's
So that sounds really smooth to me. And then Westfall, what is this? Maybe change the
so
ability or something.
I'll throw something out first. Where a curve I definitely want to try, and I think whichever version you want to play depends on how much you want to be on tier 6, because some lobbies just are not that impressive for tier 6, right? Eliza is out. You can't play elementals. You can't play Caligos, for instance, or you can't play Quilboars. Why are we going to 6, right? Like there's maybe one or two interesting things where a lot of the time, yeah, you can go to 6, but man, it's so rough to make it work. So in those games, you might want to start Eastern Plaguelands to just get the early tier 4 and then get the power spike there, and maybe do some stuff where you play
Yeah,
a Menagerie on 5, or something like that. So I will say that depending on which types are banned, you're probably going to adjust your curve, just because some lobbies tier 6 is amazing, other lobbies tier 6 is kind of eh.
that's true.
Um, the curve I want to try out, actually, so there is a little bit of a condition where you do need to keep your 1 drop with this curve. So I think something like an anomaly, the 1/4, because you can start with an anomaly and then go Westfall, which is +2 attack, +2
Oh, you
attack.
can use any of these at any time. Like I thought you could only use them once. That's not true.
No, I don't think so. I haven't tried it out, but I think no, I think you can spam them. No, I think I've seen people spam the discovery minion into the
Okay.
discovery minion. Yeah, he's stupid good right now, Collins. Like
What?
honestly, yeah, it's like once you've leveled, you just keep pulling stuff with Iron Forge. It's disgusting. But anyways, the curve I want to mess around with is Westfall
Okay.
into Eastern Plaguelands. And then once again, for anyone that's listening and is like, what the hell are these things? Westfall is the 1 turn thing. Iron Forge is the 3 turn thing. The 1 turn thing gives you attack. It's not like I'm a big fan, like, oh man, we got to juice up the attack first and do stuff. It's just that I want to try using Eastern Plaguelands on 5 gold so that it pops on 10 gold. What does that mean? If you follow this curve, you would use Eastern Plaguelands of 5 gold. 6 gold you would double buy. So 5
Mhm.
gold you would roll buy, or you would buy something from the shop, sell it and buy. So either you're buying a sun bacon or you're buying a token or whatnot, because you would keep your first minion because you've just given it +4 attack. And then 6 gold double buy, and then you would essentially level to 3 on 7 gold, which is very standard. Level to 4 on 8 gold, which is also fairly standard these days. And then level to 5 on 9 gold is a little bit out there, but
Well,
it happens. Yeah, no, it happens for a reason. Like when I'm pushing 6, right? When I'm saying, all right, tier 6 or die trying, it is a relatively normal thing to do. But I think with the reassurance that the turn after that, you're getting tier 6 for free and you get to spend 10 gold on tier
on tier
6.
6, yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So in the lobbies, especially where Eliza is in, Flat Tusk is in, those are lobbies where I'm just like, wow, so you're telling me that if I follow this curve, I'm guaranteed well, unless it's insane bad luck and you're dead. But you're semi guaranteed. You're almost guaranteed because 10 gold. It's hard to be dead on 10 gold, but it can happen, right? That's turn 8. So
I'm dead
turn
on
8,
9 sometimes.
turn 8, you get to spend 10 gold on tier 6. So I want to try that curve, and maybe it's probably not going to be the best curve, but I at least want to mess around with it just in case it's going to be really good. But if you guys listening or watching right now, you want to go with a safe option, I think that
Iron
Collins and
Forge
I,
into
yeah, Iron Forge and Eastern Plaguelands is probably perfectly fine. And then if you're getting great taverns, then you can buy. If not, power leveling to 3 seems pretty good, because then your Iron Forge flight path is going to give you a tier 3 drop.
Yeah, so the difference between the Iron Forge Eastern Plagueland versus the double Westfall into Eastern Plaguelands is you get the spike 1 turn early.
Yeah. And I think in this meta, that's actually a pretty big
That's good.
advantage.
Yeah, that's a good advantage. Yeah. And then
But it is a bit weaker because you
yeah,
don't get that free discovery.
You don't get the free 3, and you have to keep your 1 drop, and that you have to be running a 1 drop that's worth it.
Yeah. So if you were to open up with, say, Alley Cats,
Yeah,
I don't know, you get a 4, what is it? You get a 5/1, but you do get to spell for a double buy. So I don't even know, like, if tier 6 is very good. I'm probably just, I don't say I'm gonna die on this hill, but I at least want to try out
you
to
want
take
to
the
try
hill,
it, yeah.
see what it looks like, see what the view is like.
Yeah, this is definitely a hero with options, which I would say some heroes don't have that ability where you get 3. It's like 3 abilities in one, and it's flexible, and it's not like, oh, this is always the best choice. I mean, you might end up discovering this is always the best choice, but it doesn't feel that way when you look at it. So I kind of like that. There's not a lot of heroes like that where it's like, oh, you have options, and this has different directions you can take to do well. So
I will say that it almost inevitably feels like this will get nerfed.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like just repeating Iron Forge. Right. I think the first nerf is you can only use each
once. Yeah.
Just spamming Iron Forge feels super dumb.
Yeah.
It's like on the house, 3 turns later. On the house, 3 turns later. On the house. It's just like, what? Every game is a prize game, and you get it every 3 turns instead of every 4 turns. Rejoice.
And you get the best prize every time. Yeah. Like what BS is this? I agree. It's like the Hook Tusk. It's like the Eudora reveals, right? Where they come out, they're really good, and then they're like, well, let's butcher this, and then it's like, oh, let's butcher it again, right? Same thing happened to Hook Tusk, though. Hook Tusk got unnerfed in a way.
Yeah, right? Reinstated. Yeah. It's like, all right, here you go.
Eudora never got that, right? She's still crying a bit, So, yeah, feels weird. But yeah, definitely interesting hero. Make sure. I'm surprised you can reuse the flight paths. Like, you're already in Iron Forge, and you're like, oh, let's go to Iron Forge again. You're already there. Like, what logic does that make sense?
That is true. So from like maybe not a lore perspective, but just like practicality thing, you would have to go to a different flight path in order to go back. That would be a nerf. You'd have to make a trip to Westfall to then go back to Iron Forge.
To go back to Iron Forge. It still seems, it takes you 1 day to travel from Iron Forge.
But then 3 days, like,
it doesn't make sense.
I was thinking the exact same thing, like, literally unplayable, man. If you think about it, this hero is just unplayable. Yeah.
Whatever.
No, we do see this trend when new heroes get pushed. We had Guff as well, right? Guff came out. Now Galewing, where Blizzard, they definitely want to overshoot instead of undershoot. Right? They do not want to bring out a hero and be like, "Yep, nobody's playing that garbage."
And I would agree, because when they've released in the past some heroes that were really bad, and then it's like, I buy the perks, and then they screw up my choices because there's awful heroes in there, and I'm just like, why have perks?
Yeah, so I'm not.
I would rather it be stronger, but
I think overshooting, as long as they're willing to adjust, which they have shown with Guff. Yeah. Poor Guff. Nobody plays Guff anymore.
What do you do?
Okay.
Anyways,
all right.
Interesting hero. we haven't played it, but because we recorded this on Monday. But
Yes, this segment. Now we are traveling back to the future.
yeah, back
Back,
to live, exactly.
back
But
to
moving on to the next thing I want to talk about, I believe dynamic duo. Yes. Okay. Do you see this card anymore? That's my question.
I play with it a reasonable amount.
You do.
I
I
think
never see this card anymore. I think
uh,
once the nerfs hit with
see
Quillboar's,
it a lot less. That's true.
yeah, no one really runs it, right? Like you only run it if you have a Chalga and a full Quillboard board. But if you're running a Chalga and full Quillboard board, you're dying. I'm not, you're dying, right? Unless all your Quillboards are the Divine Shield variants, and this, it's really tough. And I just like, I had a board, I had a game where I had a Chalga and I could have bought two of these, and I was
Mhm.
like, huh, maybe. And then I wrote and I saw like a third copy, and I was like, huh. And I was like, would that even have been good, right? Because it feels like elementals kind of like overshadow this thing, right? With the buff to Gar and people playing a lot more ramp elementals. This just feels like a weaker version, and it doesn't scale.
So I think the big caveat here is that this is a 4 drop and Gar is a 6 drop. So yeah, once
Who's
you're
staying
rolling
on
on,
four though? You know,
well,
like
once you're no, but you buy it on the way, right? So if
but
you
the issue though is you take it if you have a Chalga. That means you got a
no,
five.
you can have banner bore. You can have banner bore, right? So the way how I
Okay,
usually get
that's true.
by
I've
on
done
mine,
that.
yeah. So banner bore is super fine, right? If you have, let's say, the brute, the one that scales +3/+3 instead of +1/+1 per gem, and then you have any random piggy.
Yeah, sure,
Usually it'll
sure.
be Tusky, the Divine Shield pig, and then you roll into this guy on 4. You're like, ooh, slam dunk, right? That's great. So I think a lot of the time, sure, it's not a card you're going to pick super often, but in combination with Bannerborn and in combination with Thorncaller, this thing is fine because it's gaining +1/+1 every time you gem, and as long as you're either putting your gems on a shaker or you're putting your gems on the Divine Shield pig, this is super fine. I would say that I play this guy not religiously, but fairly often on
Okay,
Vol'jin, just because it's pretty
okay,
good, right? Because you get to pump the stats and then swap it onto a Divine Shield later on. So, but
cool.
like I will agree, it's not like this thing is meta right now, but it's super playable. But you have to have the right setup for it.
I'm glad you mentioned this because I have not seen this hero, but the banner board makes sense, you know, and there are some situations where I can imagine, like usually when I imagine using it, right, I have a Chalga, so I'm already on five, so I'm like
Yeah,
looking for something better than this, right, to scale
and
with.
I think that's perfectly normal. Once
Yeah,
you're rolling on 6 or you're rolling on 5, you don't really want to be buying 4 drops a lot of the time.
yeah, but
So I think that's
if you're scaling with banner board and you pick this up for free, it's like +2/+2, so it starts as a what, a 5/6, a 5/6,
5-6 minimum.
yeah. Which,
If you're running 2 other boards, even if you're running 1 other board, the banner board will just put the other gem on the duo. So yeah, all you need is banner board plus 1 extra board, and then
yeah.
also be 2/2.
So it has some value, you know, especially if I guess Murlocs aren't in, right? That you do kind of want, you know, you wanted to not get like insta killed with poison, right? Same thing with Gar. So I just looked at this and I was like, what card have I not seen, right? Because we talk about all like the strong stuff, right? You
Mhm.
all know the easy directions, right? Oh, you hit this, you hit this. Okay, game's pretty easy from here, right? But what are the cards that you wouldn't mind? Like they're planning on changing a ton of cards, right? What card would you be like, oh yeah, this, yeah, change it, whatever. I don't like this one. I
Sure.
wouldn't mind if they adjusted it. Like it doesn't.
Like something like Fiend, like I've recently learned to appreciate Fiendish Servant a little bit more because turns
The
out the
two
thing is
one.
pretty good
Oh
when
yeah,
it's a little 2/1, right? That
yeah.
transfers the attack. I didn't used to really play it almost ever, but now I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try to keep this for my menagerie because it's kind of good when you transfer 25 attack to something else. Uh, Especially when you like put a battle master in the back or something. Yeah, it's 2 demons, but it's yeah, it's
There
not.
used to be a meta comp with it. You'd run this in like Baron and Selfless. So
And then just like
you'd go
uh,
as fiendish into selfless and just have like you know, 50 attack divine shield bearer, and you're like, that's pretty
Boom.
good.
Okay.
That's okay, you know.
I
So
missed that meta, but yeah, I could see someone
it
pulling it
wasn't
off.
like a meta. It was just a thing people would do. Especially when it came out, like a when it just came out, people like to experiment with the new cards. So I
Sure.
saw that a lot more. But nowadays, you know, there's more cleaner comps to do, and it's
People are
not
like, we can just make huge divine shield minions. Let's skip all the extra steps.
yeah, I mean the laziness is the best, like, you know, innovator. You know, it's like I don't want to work that hard. Let's just make one.
Uh, I don't want to like stack all the dominoes. So we can
Yeah,
just put a big domino. I was like, yeah, there we go. This will do.
yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting. So, what's my overall impression? Do you have one? Yeah, I mean,
I think it's good to serve its purpose, but if you're gonna try to make it work, then yeah, it's not great. I think this is something you pick up on tier 4 when you already have the piggy stuff. You can also pick it up on tier 5 depending on what your board looks like.
right.
Like you said, if you tripled into a Charlie and you already have banner boar on your board, for instance, yeah, sure, why
Yeah,
not?
that's
You
pretty
know, if
good.
this
Yeah,
thing is getting +4 +4 +5 +5, that's pretty good. You know, take
yeah,
something that gains 5/5 a turn. That's 2.5 gold grubber charges.
yeah.
Look at it that way. Yeah.
It used to be like super playable, right? When
It
uh,
came in as a 5/6. Yeah, it
yeah,
was
it came in as a 5/6, and everyone was going Quill Wars, or like Quill Wars, like your whole board of Quill Wars was like really, really strong. It scaled really fast. Nowadays, it doesn't scale as fast, so people can counteract your scaling in a reasonable way, so it doesn't feel as like OP. You play two of them, you're like, wow, I'm so strong. You know, no one can deal with
yeah.
my stats. So it just doesn't have the consistent stat increase
There's
that
a
it
risk.
used to. Yeah.
There's a risk attached to it where you need the synergy, otherwise it's not worth its gold.
Yeah, I just hadn't seen it in a long time, so I wanted to ask if you
I
had.
think it's when you inspect someone and you see 6 cool bars. You're like, oh, they have this.
Yeah,
That's
but I don't
like, and
see
then you're
that
like,
because they're
I'm
dead.
gonna. Oh no, okay. I'm not gonna say I see it all the time, but I see it enough. I think this is just the Charlie comp, right? Where people just have this. They pull a Charlie.
See, I
It
pull Charlie's, right, and I get rid of my things that don't have divine shield or cleave. Like
Yeah,
that's why.
because the thing is when you see the 6 Quillboar guy, you just put a spore up front to be like, all right, buddy, you're gonna do great things
And then
this
they
round.
die, and then I never
Because
fight them. That's my point.
it's kind of like a Rana where they have a huge molten rock. So,
Yeah.
you know, when it's late in the game and you're the guy with the 2 huge duos, don't triple them, please. It's like it's such a
Triple
bait.
them, triple them, and taunt everything else. That's my strat. You know,
You
that's
can do that if you have it. Yeah, a lot of the times, you know, like in the 1v1, let's say you barely beat them with 2 duos, but then in the 1v1, they triple it and they don't add any more taunts.
oh
So you're just like,
yeah.
what are you doing? This is so easy now.
I think
It's
it's
just-
fun.
uh,
Yeah, but I
it
would.
makes sense because oh, triple, nice, let's go. Let's triple is better, right? Triple has to be better. It's like tripling your gars when you know they're 200 health each.
You
This
don't
is
do
like,
that? But then you have the bigger number, and then you can go into your stats and see, oh, biggest minion. You
oh,
don't like, isn't that the point?
big
Just to
minion
go into your
guy.
stats and see the biggest minion stat increase. It's not about
I'm
winning
good,
at that
good
point.
not having my 400 health guard killed by
Yeah.
a spore.
Dude, I've been winning some games against people with 400 guards, and it just feels bad. Cause I know the life. I know the life would be having a 400 guard and getting killed by some poison scammer. You know, and when I do that, I'm like, I'm like, I'm sorry. Almost like I
Charles is
feel,
like, am I the baddie? Am I the
yeah,
baddie? Yeah.
I definitely feel like it at that point. But yeah, it's an interesting minion. Let's move on. Our next topic is something. If you also look at the BG collection manager, you'll be able to see the Shutterwalks change. Oh, there's a change to Shutterwalk. Technically, yes. If you look into it, it actually is updated there. I think that's pretty interesting. So, um, this is probably a future update. They're just giving us a sneak peek. I'm sure it's not like it's not something they like thought about.
Was it
It's
intentional?
no,
I guess that's the question,
this is
right? For us
Blizzard.
to see it.
I don't
Yeah,
think. I think they just had it ready and they just put it in their like system already, but they didn't. They forgot about it, and they're like,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, I forgot." You could look at it and see that, but I think it's interesting. Every third battle cry triggers an extra time. Um, haven't played with it, right? It works with brand, right? So that's
The wording indeed is very key here.
yeah,
It's
that's
the
important.
extra time means, yeah, brand will stack with this.
Yeah. I wonder how it works in like, do you buy the battle cry and then it buffs that minion while in your hand, or do you have to play it and then it triggers, right? If you have to
I
play
would
it,
I would assume it is the play
yeah, then
that
it's a little bit better because you can like buy 3 battle cries and be like, which one do I want to double, right? Like, oh, which that
yeah.
kind of thing. So that one would be a little bit cleaner.
I
It's also
don't think this is good enough, by the way. I'm not
it's
sure.
it's also interesting with tokens and stuff like that, right? Like if you have like a brand and 1 token, you can get a triple or something like
Yeah, but
that.
how are you getting a brand?
Yeah, that's a question. Well, I
So
mean, it's still
I'll
like
put
uh two tokens are a triple still, right? As long as you buy
yes.
them correctly. So
But okay, so maybe right, we do the stay on one thing on this guy as well. I'm just thinking in a world where Bran is a hero, where after 5 battle cries, every battle cry triggers twice. I'm thinking, okay, I'm playing this guy. Man, that feels underwhelming. I have to buy 6 battle cries to get the effect 2 times, and there's not even a brand at the end of the at the end of the road. We'll mess around with it, and maybe it is going to be really good with the stay on one and specifically roll for tokens. But outside of token lobbies, I can't really see this guy being that great.
yeah, I could see that, right? When you put it in that perspective where you buy 6 to get 2 and you get no brand, feels
Like just
feels kind
compared to
of bad.
brand,
Yeah.
it's like it's a joke, right? But
I wanted
so
like a 0 mana power where you could just double it or something like that. Or like the first battle cry you play a turn is doubled or triggers an extra time or something.
yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how they're going to be able to balance this. And hopefully I'm wrong and this is decent, but it doesn't feel decent right now. Just comparing to, the brand.
Yeah, I see your point. It is a little slow and it doesn't like trigger quickly, right? Like what's the best like case scenario? You get a mug and
I think best case scenario is triples with tokens, probably.
yeah, and
So
to
you
a
get like
mug,
token into token, and the second one you hold until it's your third.
to a
Yeah,
mug.
sure. Token into mug into token. Yes, that's the nut, Collins.
Yeah, there we go. Wait, no, then you don't get the buff. You need token into buy 2 minions into a mug. Let's go. That
Wait,
sounds
no, you want the triple from the token. You want the token to be a third one.
okay. So token, triple mug, hold mug, buy 2 battle cries, play mug.
Yeah, just open the classic triple mug shop.
Easy, easy. Oh, golden mug. You're right. You're right. That's the triple. You with a brand, right? Brand
So
golden
I,
mug.
I will say that you can probably do some outrageous things with this thing, but it's so specific, right? We're talking golden mirror with a brand on your board, golden battle master with a brand on your board. So there's some nutty things that are going to be possible, but it's just going to be this like, well, I'm dead before. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's another issue, right? Heroes get so strong, right? Like, I would
So
say
fast.
there's been power creep in heroes since the beginning. So
Yep.
it's like tough when you have like a hero from the beginning and it's just like, yeah, not even strong now, and then getting power creeped. So you're trying to make it work, but then it just like the new boys come in and shoot him in the face, and you're just like dead again. After a while, you don't want to play the hero anymore, and then it goes back into getting removed. I could see it getting removed again.
Like trying
Feels
it out.
bad.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see if this is the actual change, but this seems to be what they're looking at implementing right now. Right now I'm not super impressed, but I'm not gonna say honestly. Sometimes I'm like, oh, we'll have to play it to see, and then it's like exactly how I imagine. So I don't don't think I'm gonna get shocked here. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll be finishing up on the prizes, right? We talked about the tier 1 and the tier 2 prizes last week, but we didn't finish because it was too long, and we're already like quite into this, so this is going to be another long one. Feels bad, man, but we'll see what we have. We're going to be starting straight at tier 3 ones, and I believe the first one we have is All That Glitters, because it's in alphabetical order, and I remember because I just did this like an hour ago. so of course. But yeah, so this is tier 3 prize. Make a random in Bob's Tavern golden. I want to first off say, if you're on tier 3, you're probably okay, right? That's like top 5 minimum, right? So usually here there's like 2 different ways of looking at these tier 3 prizes. One is to like beat the next guy and then go for top 2. Other one is like, I'm going to win the lobby, right? So I want to go for the high rope prize and then get go as strong as possible, right? There's one if you want to just survive to next turn's really good at that. But
One is remarkable at doing that.
But yeah, this is one of the I want to win the game kind of prizes, where sometimes you'll see a minion in the shop that you particularly want, and what you can do is you can buy all the other ones and make that one specifically golden, and then you get
you need more money usually to be able to do it, though, because I've been in this spot a lot where it's just like, if you're not Millhouse, then you can buy everything else, but you can't really buy the thing.
Do you not like just keep 3 minions in your hand randomly for
You
this
just get
occasion?
like 2 gamblers, right? The rainy day fund.
I do.
Like the gamblers.
I legit do. So
now, if you're Collins, and you're just like, which one of my gamblers will I use this turn? And yeah, sure,
this
you can
is
do
literally
this.
not a problem for me.
I've been in this spot a decent amount of time, and every time I do the math, I'm just like, let's just take the fucking bananas because it's not worth it, man. It's all so much money because your turn is gone. That is your turn, right? That is your entire turn. You're done after that.
Yeah,
and you need extra money. So I will say very good on Millhouse, right? Because Millhouse has no problem with let me just buy everything, sell everything. So yeah, Millhouse can use this baby like very well, but I guess Gallywix, right?
Sure.
He's got that rainy day fund every turn. So Gallywix probably also doesn't mind this. And Gallywix gets rewarded for selling units, so gets to recover quite well after that.
Yeah, I normally don't have a problem triggering it. I just don't ever want to trigger it, I guess. There's nothing like every time I look at this and there's one that you get a 6 drop, and I'm like, I just take the 6 drop. Like that's basically what this does, Like,
so take the 6 and then spend 10 gold on units I like. Hey, let's do that instead.
Yeah, you specifically need to be like running a very specific comp and having exactly what you need. Like let's say you're playing Beast or something and there's a Macaw and you're like, oh, Golden Macaw or Golden Baron or something like that. And you're like, oh, I could do that. But other than those particular units, like it essentially just gives you a 6, but you're paying 3 gold for it. So
there are exceptions, of course. Like let's say you have a brand on the board and there's some economy in the shop, like you can use Tavern Tempest, like empty it out, and you're like, ooh, Golden Murazont, boom, let's do that with my brand. So yeah, there's going to be niche opportunities, but yeah, most of the time, way too much work for far too little value.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say this is the best prize. Like I'm not recommending this prize. There's
it's
some
a Hail Mary, essentially, right? You're like, okay, I need to hit the selfless. Go. Bam.
Yeah, so, okay, sometimes if you have that issue, you could like buy 3, then roll those dice, 1 out of 3.
Yeah, 83, right? Yeah, sure.
That sometimes works, but yeah, a lot of the time, it ends up, you're using all of your turn to get like a mediocre benefit, and if it's not exactly what you want, right, you've basically thrown the game. So that's something you have to keep in mind because everyone else is getting a prize, right? That's definitely something you have to consider every time you are in these
Yeah.
prize turns, everyone else is also getting stronger in some way. So if you're spending your whole turn for like a random chance of improvement and you don't hit it, then you've thrown the game, right? Because you could have picked a different prize that gives you a different outcome, or you could have rolled with your money or something like that, right? Spend a lot of turns. So it's definitely one of those, like, maybe I get exactly what I want, or whatever, or I need this critical piece, and if it's golden, that's really good, right? And well, a lot of times you don't get that, so definitely not something I recommend. But it is in the game. I don't hate it. It's not rats. It's not double attack. It's not. I don't look at this and be like,
Nothing's quite
I will.
like, still just a rat in a
Oh,
cage.
someone asked me after the podcast, did you pick that card since the podcast? And I was like, I have, yeah. I picked it once because I had no other play. So I just put blood gems on my deflecto and doubled it. I made like a 10-4 deflecto.
You
That,
picked rat
that
in a
was it
cage.
because I had no
Oh,
other play.
God.
The other
Who
play.
is this? Who am I talking to?
I know. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I did pick
I
it
was like,
once.
I was young. I needed the attack. Okay.
That was last week. I was dying no matter what I did. That was the issue. So yeah, it was a really bad game, a really bad prize game. I got screwed over or something. I don't know. I had to stay on 3. It was that I couldn't
when
even
you're
level to
playing
4.
when you're playing Deflectos and you're in a prize game, that's usually not amazing.
I had to stay on 3. I couldn't even level to 4. It was that bad. Like that's how bad it was. It was rough.
Yeah, that sounds like a prize game gone wrong for sure.
Anyways, this one not as bad as that one, but it's very a Hail Mary play.
Not common that you'll pick this, but very niche opportunities.
Yeah.
Could be really good.
Yeah. What if it would that be too strong? It would, right? If it was like 2 minions or something like that.
Yeah.
Too strong. Man. Yeah, disgustingly strong.
Think about it.
I don't know. I'm trying to make it better. Or you target the minion.
Right
that's
now,
still broken too. If you target,
it's the high roll one, right? Like sometimes harder the cards, you just go for it. So, because we're operating under the assumption that you want to 100%. That's, but I think a lot of people, they take this and be like, all right, hit the brand, let's go.
Yeah, that's true. That's what
throw it in the shop, see what comes back.
Yeah, that's true. People just roll it. That's true. All right.
And that's hard still. People love doing that shit, man. Just like throw it out, be like, hit the brand, come on.
All right. Next prize, bananas. Oh, bananas. I don't eat bananas that much, but I do think bananas are a reasonable prize. Sometimes you want to munch on something while you're enjoying a Hearthstone game. So just leave the game, grab a couple bananas, eat them. Then forget you're playing prize lobby and you're like, oh my god, I forgot I was playing prize, and you're like, I'll just take bananas, and you have a banana in your hand, banana in your game. You get that synergy buff, and then all you get are big bananas, right? That's how it works in the universe. So yeah.
Is it 50-50 as well now?
I don't think so. I don't think so because I've picked it up multiple
it's either
times.
It's either 1 and 3 or 1 and 2.
Right? I think it's 1 and 3. I think it's better than 1 and 2, but I think it's not 50-50. It's definitely not because I've picked it like 3 times. I've never gotten half bananas ever. So, but I've gotten like 3 or 4 bananas, which is like 1 and 3. So,
sure, yeah. If it was 50-50, you'd have like
you would know. I feel like you would know, right? Like, yeah.
I think 1 and 3 is probably. I don't know. Like we don't actually know, but I guess we're assuming
make it 1 and 2. That's what
it feels pretty. Honestly, I take bananas all the time.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's still good. It's still good.
Yeah, you have a divine shield or a big cleave or even a battle master. You're just like put plus, minimum +10 on my guy. Sure, I'll take that. Fine. Nothing game breaking, but not bad. Deflecto, right? Let's say you have to play Deflecto in a prize lobby. This is one of the better ones.
Yeah. The thing is, like, there are better prizes, right? This isn't the best prize or anything, right? So the people that got like specifically that one prize that does that one thing, and they cleave your minion and still have the cleave left. That one might be a little bit better. But I do think if you don't know what to do with your prize, then this is probably the one for you. Like if the prize are not obvious and this is in there, and you have Divine Shield minions or something,
Yeah.
then yeah, this makes
This
sense.
one's never bad. The baseline is decent.
Yeah, I mean,
10-10 is baseline, right? So, well, hand space management aside, 10-10 is baseline for this thing.
dude, it's so annoying when I have a card in my hand.
This is your downside of holding cards in your hand. I get like banana, sweet, rip it, 10 bananas, bam, bam, bam. Calls is like, oh no, I have to play cards now.
I almost never have that. I always have to sell something in. That's funny. I don't think I've ever picked bananas and been like, oh, I have nothing in my hand. I always have to like, oh, okay, I have to sell like 2 minions from my hand and something. That's funny. That's actually funny. I
love it. I love it.
Oh man, but yeah, it's so annoying when I have to like, I have to change my game plan or like get rid of a pair in my hand or something like that. So yeah, but I do think it's definitely a good card if you don't know, if you don't have a different game plan and you have things to buff, right? So I wouldn't recommend this if you have nothing to buff, right? Or if the minions you have are already good enough, right? If you have like a 50-50 deflecto, it's like, what difference am I making, right? You're not really creating an extra threat in your board, right? But let's say you have a 50-50 and another smaller, like, 7 attack deflecto. Well, stacking that gives you a whole new threat. So that's where this really shines, right? And same thing with like cleaves and stuff. I wouldn't like buy a new cleave just to put bananas in, right? It's probably not big enough at that point. But if you have a cleave that's almost there, almost good enough, like has 10-15 attack already, and then you like make it 20, right? That might change some breakpoints. So that's usually there. But I would say deflecto is probably one of the safest best hits if it's not huge already. Other than that, it's an okay card, definitely one you'll be picking up. I would say not the most common. There's stronger ones, but it's usable. Any final thoughts? You just agree?
Just solid. Like I think that's best way to describe this. Solid. It's not gonna. Well, sometimes it might be the difference between you winning or losing. Yeah, sure.
That is an issue.
Like, yes, I hit banana.
It's not clearly the difference between you winning or losing, but other prizes are sometimes the difference, and that might be like,
one in particular is like, oof. I would have definitely placed lower this game if I died this turn.
Yeah, that might be like the main drawback. It's not a game decider prize, which is like
it doesn't move the needle a bunch. All of it moves the needle slightly. It's like you get a little stronger. But sometimes the other prizes just don't move the needle at all.
Yeah, okay, I agree. Sure. Next prize we have is By the Holy Light. Wow, they even have like advertisement in the name, By the Holy Light, because this one is quite good.
You know the play on words here, right? Or just checking.
I don't know.
When you play Uther, right, and you WoW, is like By the Holy Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's constructed again?
Sure, whatever. You played Arena for you played Arena for a few.
I still play Arena from time to time, to be fair, but don't play at Uther apparently.
No Paladin.
Yeah, but you're right.
I mean, this one's top tier, right? This one's so good.
This is probably the second
best one. Yeah.
Oh man, it feels bad, but yeah, I would say this one is the one a lot of people are looking for when they want to win the game, right? Like if you want to win the game,
I think this is the discipline pick a lot of the time, because while it doesn't, it is a great card. Don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of the time, compared to the other cards, it doesn't feel fancy, right? You're just like, I could have do this, I could do that. I was like, just put a shield on your max now or whatever it is. Just shield the thing. It's gonna be better. I will say there's specifically a thing where I've run into the situation twice where there is a George left, and I'm just like, I'm gonna end up ghouling my own shield. So depending on the opponent's left, right? If it's let's say it's just you and George, you're like, probably not. Or you're playing someone who's playing a bunch of mechs, You already have the ghoul ready. You're just like, hmm. So I have run into this situation a few times, but I wouldn't say that's like a huge concern, right? I think that was very specific for those lobbies being very Divine Shield heavy, and I wanted to run a ghoul.
That's like
I
the
think,
high elo mentality, like
yeah,
looking
for the
at your
most part,
opponents
who
and
runs a
thinking like,
ghoul? That's a one
just
too.
pick this here, just
Just
pick this power
shield
every
your
time,
thing.
you'll be fine. You
I
don't have
think
to.
that is the best advice. When
Yeah.
then you see, apart from one other part, well, not always, right? Because so I mean, obviously, we're talking about ice block when we're memeing around, like we're saying, like like ice block. It's pretty dumb. You just get
Yeah,
scam guy spends
yeah.
an entire game trying to get an ice block. You're like, ooh, here's an ice block for free. So this one can be better than ice block,
Mhm.
indeed. Especially when you're in the heads up and you know that, let's say you're not scaling more than your opponent. Icebox not so good then because yeah, you bought an extra turn, but they're just getting bigger than you.
Yeah.
And the divine shield on your cleaver, the divine shield on your poison might be the difference between you winning the game. So that's what Collins is referring to. Is like, okay, if you're going for the win, right, just bite the bullet, be like, all right, take the shield. Because even if I buy another round, now if you have 4 Caligos on your board,
That's
yeah,
very
buy
true.
another round,
Yeah.
right? Buy another round. So,
I've had a game like that. I had 3 Caligars or something, and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, ice
like
block,
just give me
okay."
another
And then I
turn.
lose the battle with the ice block, and then I just scale
Then
it.
you
Like,
beat him. Yeah.
it's just disgusting.
Yes,
Oh
man.
man, but yeah,
We've all been
yeah,
there.
it feels okay. But yeah, I think this is probably like the safest pick. If you want to win the game, it's definitely a strong unit. It's like not fancy, but the amount of things you can do, just giving you like poison or cleave or something, your strongest minion or something right there with divine shield, just really good. I've had the game with you're playing like a secret guy, right? You have a big minion, you just give it divine, and then you copy it, and you're like, "Wow,
Oh,
this
so good.
is good."
Yeah.
Same thing with
I've I've
poisons as well. Yeah.
I've improv that with Houndmaster on a max now. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
perfect dong,
That's
baby.
the
Let's
one I'm
go.
thinking.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, it's definitely a strong card game deciding. Definitely something you always want as an option. Like if you could choose the three, you would
Yeah.
put this in there, an
This
ice
this
block,
one this
and
one ice block, and
and then
then
it doesn't
the other
matter.
one is flavor. Well, the other one could be flavor because they're
Maybe I don't even know. What else would you take over those
well,
two?
sometimes the glitters, right? Like specifically when we talked
Okay.
about the brand
Yeah,
and all that.
the other one could be random, and then you'll see
Yeah,
how. Yeah,
sure.
but
Just for
then you're never
funsies.
taking
I
it.
want to see some
Okay.
different. I
Yeah.
do think that between block, yeah, there is also chat's favorite one, which we're gonna be at soon. I hope. Or, I'm not gonna spoil it yet.
Yeah, I
But
don't know
that
which one you're
that one,
talking about, but yeah.
yeah. Okay. Anyways, shield good. Next, let's go.
Yeah, shield good next. Fair
Shield
enough.
good.
Ice block. Oh wow, that's right next to it, huh?
Oh, crazy.
Well,
Yeah, I feel like we don't even need to spend this thing is very, very good. If there's a lot of people left in the lobby, a lot of the time this is just,
the
if your goal
best.
is to increase MMR, not necessarily, or it depends. If your goal is to win the whole lobby and you have a great scaling engine, yeah, take it anyway. You don't even need to be like, well, this is kind of the top 2 or top 3 pick. No, sometimes this is the top 1 pick, depending on your scaling. But
Yeah.
sometimes if you're more tempo heavy and you want to try to win the lobby, then yeah, you're gonna want to pick the divine shields. But for the most part, don't skip ice block.
Yeah,
Pretty much. Go ahead.
only one person in the lobby gets ice block.
That
So
is very true.
if you get if you get offered the ice block, no one else is. So people are dying. That like some
Yeah,
people are gonna die. So just picking this alone raises your
yeah.
placement.
Your average
Yeah,
placement.
just alone because you're the other
And,
one who gets the ice block. No one else could scam like
yeah,
that unless they're playing secret guy.
and
But
other people are spiking hard with
yeah,
other prizes.
yeah,
So while you're not spiking, they are trying. They're killing each other, and you're just sitting like, haha, yes, kill each other. Very good, very
yeah,
good. Let me take second place here.
yeah.
So
It's a
yeah,
dumb prize, but I thought they were gonna
yeah.
remove this. Surprised they didn't, but hey,
Nope.
yeah,
Still a thing.
they didn't really change a lot of the prizes. I guess they nerfed the one flag, the flag. They nerfed that one, and then
Flag
they
nerfed.
moved the double attack, which they should have removed that
Rat
one.
down.
Yeah,
Was there not? Oh, and good stuff. Good stuff. Good left.
oh yeah, that's true. So those are the
Relevant.
three changes. I would say more changes would have been appropriate, but at least there was some the right direction, I think, with
Yeah.
most of them. So yeah, good one, best one.
Ice block good.
Yeah, ice block good, exactly.
Shield good, ice block good. Yeah. Very,
Uh,
very good price.
Next one, repeat customer. I really see this only when you're playing either Brand or an Amalgadon. Those are the two that I see this a lot.
Or when you're running the Caligos, right, and you're just like, all right, let's just pick up the Murazond again or what's something else. But yeah, niche. Like I think I've done this on Scavenger when I was playing Brand and my entire board was taunted, and I'm like, all right, take it back. Oh, 4/4 to the board again.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, some situations, but as Collins mentioned, it's gonna probably involve Brand and a very good battle cry.
Yeah. And since it's non-golden has like messed with me quite a lot. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this would be really good, and like my minion's golden. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like, oh well, I go to Murazond, well, of course, you know.
golden jug, right? You're like, oh, that's give me the
that is
boobs.
definitely some stats, but definitely not the craziest. When it is good, it's really good. I will admit, but it's not really good often.
Very niche, very like, okay, specifically here, I do like it.
Yeah, so if you
Also,
can, yeah.
very, very, very sometimes, right? You are board locked, and this is a cool way out of it. Where you're like, okay, I really need to play this card, but I really don't want to sell anything. All right, let's just take this card back to my hand.
Yeah, I mean, they usually I'm like, Divine Shield. I just have the Divine Shield and the extra stat. I'll just roll and get that triple anyways. But yeah, I see what you're saying. That is definitely an option. If you can make it work, it's really good, but it's not something I would pick every time or most of the time even. It just when it works, but it's a niche pick, kind of like all the glitters in that what's the word, realm or something, in that realm of
Yeah,
cards.
yeah, it's in the same ballpark.
Yeah, I'd say a little bit better if you can get it right, since that's synergy with Brand and whatnot, and Amalgadon and whatnot. But
I guess the ceiling is lower because all that glitters has pretty stupid ceiling, but at the same time,
yeah, that's true.
on average, it'll do more. I would say that, yeah. On average, it'll do more, but
Yeah,
when glitters is good, glitters
it's
is
really
you
good.
know,
Yeah.
we're talking like, ooh, this is my golden selfless. Ooh, this is my golden baron. Oh, this is a golden Cali or
I love
something.
how
Yeah,
Golden Selfless is like, yeah, that's so nuts.
I mean, late game, if you add golden
Yeah,
selfless,
very
yeah,
true.
out of nowhere, right? Out of nowhere, golden selfless. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
So good. Especially with Mexen, right? You pop the divine shield. Add two divine shields. So good.
All right, next card that we'll be talking about is Top Shelf. I actually take this kind of a lot, right? It feels like this sometimes is like the safest of the worst.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Where I don't really have any direction. I'm like, I'll take a Malgadon, right? Because there's always a Malgadon in the pool, and you're just like, yeah, I'll take an Amalgadon.
Fish for Dong, fish for Nadina if you're running dragons.
Yep, fish for Eliza sometimes.
No.
Yeah,
when you're playing Scam, you're just like, all right, got two Elizas. Come on, give me the third one.
Yeah, so it's okay. It unfortunately doesn't work to like fix your, like, you can't scale with this. It's too late in the game to pick something that scales, right? So you're pretty much taking something to like finish your comp or flesh out of it, because usually it's like top 4, top 5 maybe. So you're looking,
if you're finding direction at this point, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Like, you're probably not here if you're still finding direction when these prizes get offered.
So it's not crazy for that reason, because you're like trying to 1 out of, or 3 out of like 7 or 8, the 1 6-drop you need, right? And usually you're taking this when you don't get Ice Block or Divine Shield, right? So other people will be hitting that, right? Yeah. So
this is not a prize where you're ecstatic when you hit it.
Yeah, you're not happy.
Yeah, I hit top shelf. But yeah, sometimes it is the best of the bad bunch.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I don't recommend it, right? The Divine Shield Ice Block better, and unless you need a specific 6, right? Sometimes I would say it's usually Nadina, right? That's the one that jumps out to me, and sometimes in Malgadon if you have nothing else to do. But other than that, there's not a lot of like clear, oh, this is it.
Right. second rag, second Kali,
Could be
third.
playing Nomi and hit Hamul. Now that Hamul's in there, that's
That is
something.
very true. Sometimes Hamul is a nuts. You're playing double Hogger. Let's find Hamul.
You're not doing that though. You're not getting this prize.
I
So
did it today. I did it today.
okay, fine.
It's good fun.
I actually did it too yesterday or 2 days ago. I did it this week as well. That's funny. So yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, just knowing that no matter what's in the shop, it's always like buy, 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 buy. It's very fun.
It was okay. But yeah, not that greatest, but it's definitely playable, and you'll probably take it a lot just because there's always a potential of a good hit with this one, right? So some of the other ones you don't have that potential. So sometimes you just look at it, hope for the potential, don't hit it, and then someone has Ice Block or Divine Shield and they kill you. So yeah, but yeah, you'll take it sometimes. Next one we'll talk about is Training Session. Is this the one that's chat's favorite?
This, if chat could decide, it's always new hero power, and the new hero power would always be George or
Yeah,
Alec.
I
Chat does not look at downside at all. It's like, no, why would you not want a George hero power? What the fuck are you doing?
I agree. I do that a lot. Like if I don't get Holy Light, I pretty much go for this one because I'm like, oh, that's Holy
Alice
Light.
is one of you guys.
Because I mean, there are a decent amount of good heroes. There's I've sometimes had Tess be amazing because they had like two amalgams. I've had Alec here. It's basically George, you know. Sometimes like just a stat giver. What is it called? Reno. I've had Reno be pretty sick. Where I just like, oh, this is amazing. Usually the ones with stats don't really feel that great because this late in the game, you like it's a banana. Like you have like one turn.
Well, let's get one thing straight.
Okay.
There are a crap ton of terrible hero powers there in the late game, right?
Oh, what are you talking about? There's not...
like I'm gonna go down the list, right? Bottom to up. Flurk, Pyramid, Chinvala.
That's
Elise,
4 health.
Curator, Ysera, AFK, Malagos, Patches, Rat King, Jiraxes, Yashirash, Cat, debatable, but probably not, because you're gonna have to get stronger now or die. Bran, probably not anymore. Cindy, Maev, Eudora, Illidan, Millie. That's entire tier 4 of just 100% whiffs, right? Lich, Daryl, Toki, Arana, Guff, Patchwork, Alex. Galley, I can see, right? Depending on the spot. Rakanishu, Kale, tier 3, maybe 1 or 2, right? Nazoth, Tess, okay, fair dude. Tess can be nuts at that stage. Yogg, Deathwing, Nozdormu, Zephyrus, sure, right? Fresh Zephyrus hero power on tier 6, why not? Let's go. Wagtoggle, Sky Pirate, Ticketus, Galakrond, and whatever. Silas could be fun, right? Especially with some hoggers. Finley, I guess I don't know. Do you get Finley?
No,
I don't think you
Finley.
do. You don't get Finley. Mukla, Baroff, Starfang, Rag, okay, Reno, the Nuts, Zyrella, whatever. Lich King, yeah, super decent. Greybow, depends on your board, probably not. Millhouse, could be amazing. Rafam, see, now we're entering the realm of like, okay. Like, coincidentally, it's heroes with good hero powers that are better up higher. We could tell this to Blizzard and they could switch some things around. Yeah, we get like Rafam, Alec here, and then there's a few more, like you get Blackthorn, you get Omu, you don't really want those. But generally speaking, now you're in the range of, you get your Mutinous, you get your Jandis, you get George, right? These are all very good hero powers. But, there's like maybe 2.5 tiers of straight whiffs. So this is a big gamble. Let's get
and
one.
The tiers are bigger than the other tiers. Let's be honest.
More shit in tier 4 than there is in tier 1.
Yeah. So but you get 3 choices. So you roll that dice, you get 3 times. Maybe you get a hit a good one.
I take it sometimes, right? I think the recipe needs to be your hero power needs to be pretty much dead.
Yes.
I think if your hero power is semi-useful, then you're not even considering this, because you might be like, well, I have a reasonable hero power, but it's not George, so maybe I should just reroll my hero power. So we're talking training session, and then not ice block, not divine shield,
Mm.
and your hero power is dead. I think in
Yes.
when those three
And not
criteria are met,
bananas. Sometimes I'll take. It
yeah,
depends. It depends.
we
But
can depend.
I can
Like
see bananas.
sometimes you need a bigger spike than
Yeah.
bananas.
I
You
agree.
said it didn't move the
Yeah.
needle that much, but yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the circumstance where it's considerable. But I think ice block, shield, or a good hero power, you're just not even going near this thing.
Yeah. Fair enough. But I like it.
Get your logic out of here.
I see everything you're saying. I agree with it. But I still pick this sometimes, and sometimes I get the nuts, and then it's a good hero, and then I'm like, yeah. But a lot of the time, this is a whiff, and then I die. But one, like I'm gonna die no matter what, so it doesn't matter.
May as
Sometimes
well
this
go.
saves me.
Yeah,
I
when you need to get a huge hit, then yeah, you can take a huge risk.
I have gotten a secret guy into ice block. And just like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, that is very nice.
Let's go.
I've probably gotten that too at some point.
Yeah, it's a fun one. This one I'm okay with because it's not OP, but it's fun, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say sometimes it's OP, but a lot of the time it's not, right? So there's
Oh my god. Dude, I had a loss where my opponent went from not having a cleave into having an over 100 damage cleave.
Vol'jin. Let's go.
No.
Oh.
Vol'jin would have been the reasonable one, Collins.
Oh.
What's the hero power he got?
Mutinous?
Mutinous! And he
Oh,
won
okay.
the 1 in 7,
Okay.
dude. I'm just sitting there like, what? I'm not playing around cleave whatsoever because there's no cleave on the board, and he whips out an over 100 damage cleave, and I'm just like, you're fucking joking.
I was like, my brain was like, what else can do it? Like, what else works?
It's
It's not like
like,
Zephyrus, right? He didn't like.
it didn't register. I was just like, I was in disbelief just looking at it. This man has a 100 attack cleave. Where did that come from?
Sounds like a good play, this
He
training
picked
sessions,
he picked
baby.
the Infinite Hero Power, bought a Foe Reaper, and be like, all right, let's just get lucky. Then just hit it. Meanwhile, I can't hit a Deflector to save my life whenever I play that guy, dude.
Seems good. I like it, yeah. But fun one. I wouldn't necessarily recommend all the time, but still has those highlight moments, I would say. Next one we have is those are all the tier.
There we go.
Yeah, the tiers. Once I think we've been pretty clear. Ice block, divine shield, and then the other three kind of depend. I mean the others kind of depend.
Bananas is safe. Top shelf is like safe-ish.
Yeah.
Then Glitter's new hero power. Huge risk, huge reward.
Yeah. So we're going into tier 4. First of all, if you've made it to tier 4 prizes, good job. I am proud of you. Well done. You're okay. You've already won. In my heart, that's your top 2, maybe top 3 if someone's being finicky with their ice blocks or something. Like they took an ice block and they won for some reason. Then they're still alive. Yeah, maybe, but usually it's like top 2, and you're like trying to find the right counter to win the lobby, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, these prizes kind of disappoint me. I got to be honest. I will say I don't see these prizes all too often. I'm dead or I've killed them. So like, don't see these prizes all too often. So it's hard to complain.
Yeah, I think in high MMR play, you just don't get here.
Yeah,
I think this is a lot more lower MMR where there's less efficiency, more just wasting of gold. And
yeah. The issue is like people just take 30 damage in the end game. Like it's not. You would think, oh, everyone's getting stronger. Oh, we'll scale, but no, someone just wins and they take 30. So like, there's no scaling. You're just dead. It's only if you're like playing the same comp. That's usually what I see. They're playing like the same, like they're both playing scam. You're both playing scam, and then it's like one Murloc lives or something. Yeah.
George with a lot of divine shield, and
one
unless the heroes are very prone to tying, there's one person is out at that stage of the game.
Oh, I don't see this too often, but so it's hard for me to like complain because I rarely see them. But I would say like some of these prizes are clearly better. I just like if you hit this one, you're doing a lot
There's
better than
one
your
in
opponent.
particular where you're like, okay, that one is the nuts. Right?
I mean, this one could be the nuts depending on your game.
Absolutely.
The one issue is like at least if you get here in high MMR, someone's playing scam. That's my issue, right? Like
I think
someone's playing
that's
scam.
well, not necessarily that, but someone's got two perfect dongs waiting for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. They
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
that's scam, dude. It's
Well, okay, yeah,
they
let's just scab
they're
him with
running.
like
They have a
280, 80
they have
dongs.
golden selfless 2 dongs, and then they're like, you know what, my other minions suck. Poison, poison, poison. Like that's what that happens,
I
right?
think it's fair indeed in IMMR. Whenever someone identifies I am not the bigger one, they're gonna keep the dongs and add spores. That is true.
It-
So call it
so
a semi-scam. I find any comp with two dongs, I find that hard to just call a pure scam,
it's
dude,
all
right?
scam, chat.
Wait, it's all scam? Always has
It's
been.
always has been. It always has been, chat. From the beginning of the game, it's always been scam. But yeah, that's my issue when I try to run this. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna run into some dongs or some spores and it dies. So, but the issue is my opponent can do this against me. That's a lot of like I have like a big gar or something. You're like, okay, I'll just make a bigger gar, or I'll take your gar or something like that, right? But usually it's like it's this, or like I've seen it work well if they're running elementals. That's like the thing, and then they have gar, and then they play it, and the opponent doesn't have like a counter, so they're running like double dong, right? To deal with their dongs, a poison, and like 2 gars and like one of this or something like that, and then it's like, okay, I can kill everything, and then
This one as
their
well.
bracket will live, yeah, and then that's what kills me. That's the only time I've seen this like
Also a
really be effective.
6-star minion, so it really adds damage to the calculation.
The
That's a
what?
big deal
Yeah,
as
it's a
well.
6-star
It's
mini.
it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
6
yeah,
star,
yeah,
so it deals a lot of
yeah,
damage. Generally, at that stage of the game, you're gonna deal 12 if this survives.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So
I will say probably the most, I guess the best way that I've seen this used was Weaver Sarlisk tier 2 strategy, where you had this huge
oh
Weaver,
yeah,
huge Sarlisk, and then you just added another big minion. So Weaver Sorrow in the late game, for those of you who've never heard of this strategy, on tier 2, you can get Rabbit Sarlisk and Wrath Weaver, and then you just buy a bunch of Demon Death Rattles or regular Death Rattles, and you just scale them up. There's a couple of heroes that want to do this, like Hook Dusk would be one of them that could potentially do this because you get to discover a minion every turn. They would have very high stats, and they would probably do this in a lobby where there's no Murlocs. No
yeah,
Murlocs
yeah, yeah,
means
yeah,
less chance for
yeah,
a
yeah.
perfect
That's another
dom.
that you should. That's a good point, right?
Yeah,
This works in no murlocs. That's
no
true.
Murlocs.
Yeah,
Stats is king in no
yeah,
Murlocs for sure. And you're gonna see big battle masters a lot more often in no Murloc lobbies. And then yeah, suddenly this becomes, like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
yeah,
So I guess those are the takeaways. Like no Murlocs, and whenever whenever you're relying on stats, essentially, this
yeah.
guy is great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No Murlocs is very good point. That's very, very true. If no Murlocs are in, then this actually has no Murlocs are in, Elementals are in. You're playing Elementals. You hit this, okay. I
Or
have
even a
it.
Mithrax, right? This
Yeah,
huge ass
yeah, yeah,
Mithrax. You
yeah.
just copy the Mithrax HP.
So it makes sense. But I wouldn't say it's the best, but it does have some use cases.
Situational.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
pick this sometimes. Next one we're talking about is Big Winner. Big Winner, you've won the game. Not necessarily true, but this can be good. To be fair, like it has that potential upside in that you get all the other prizes, including you can get Ice Block. I don't know if they've removed that, but I know previously you could still get Ice Block. So it kind of made things annoying in that if you
Suddenly people get another ice block.
yeah, they get another Ice Block. I've definitely got Ice Block, Big Winner into Ice Block, into another Big Winner, and I don't know if I got another Ice Block, it was already dumb. It was into another Big Winner. I don't think I got another Ice Block, but I didn't need it, so maybe I didn't take it. I think I had the option or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
remember, but it was a while
To
ago.
clarify what Collins is talking about, 4 turns later, if the game is for some godforsaken reason still not over, like some guys getting ice block after ice block, you get another like tier 4 prize.
Yeah,
So
the big
and
winner will give you a tier
big
4
winner.
prize. Yeah, which
Yeah, but crazy.
I don't think it can be big winner because that
I
sounds impossible, right? Because
I
that is
think
a permanent loop theoretically.
no, I think that your tier 4 big winner can give you the big winner. Sorry, I think your second tier 4 prize can
Huh?
give you the first big winner.
Ah,
And then that one,
we'll give you
I
the other
don't
ones.
think will give you, but I'm
Okay,
not
yeah,
sure. Like
yeah.
but I think I've seen it on Reddit where big winner goes into big winner.
Okay,
But maybe I'm wrong. Like
okay.
I'm not
Fair
gonna
enough.
say that that is 100%
Regardless,
possible. Yeah.
this is an okay
Shenanigans.
one.
The game
Yeah,
should be over, right? Yeah.
yeah. You can get a lot of random stuff. You can get Divine Shield and Ice Block and whatever. There's a lot of little things, right? This is usually what I take when I don't like the other prizes, because at
Yeah.
least I'm getting to reroll 3 prizes at least. You know, a lot of
Yeah, but
them
like the first
is
prize,
pointless. It's 2 gold
like
is
sometimes
usually.
3 rerolls at that stage
Yes.
is like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
okay, I'll take 3 gold.
3 rerolls
Or
is basically another prize. Like, let's be honest. Some of these prizes are, so yeah, there. Some of the other prizes are okay. So, I actually like this one a little bit. It's not horrible. I usually take this if I don't like my options.
I'm never truly happy to play this one,
Sure,
but sure, I'll
sure.
take it.
Um, I would say some of them make me more sad than this one. So
Yeah,
I don't hate this one personally.
playable,
Yeah.
playable. Just not something we're excited about
And if
mostly.
you're on tier 20, this one's amazing. I just wanted to mention, if you're on tier 20, get all the prizes that you want, because you're getting all the other prizes plus another tier 4. So it's pretty sick. Next one, we shall move on to fresh tab. Refresh your gold. I've taken this sometimes. Always feel horrible about it. Just being honest, like,
I think what happens is you spend it and then you're like, oh crap, I don't have enough time to spend the other 10 gold. Let's go, let's go.
nah, no. What happens when I pick this is chat, instead of saying -10,
Minus
now
20.
it
Yeah.
just says -20. CAC W, and then I'm just like, yep, feels bad. Game's over. So that's my vanilla experience personally.
Yeah, this is when you are rolling it down. Usually we're talking late game. So what are we looking for late game? Baron, selfless, specifically maybe a golden version of something you have on your board. Yeah, then you can minus 20 with this thing, just rolling it down. But then if the other prizes weren't great and the golden selfless would have won you the game, then yeah, sure, this could be the right pick.
I think out of the 3 worst, this is the best one. The 3 worst that I have in my head. This
So
is
yeah, I do pick this from time to time.
yeah,
So like, usually that's a good way of saying like, okay, there's 2 worse ones, right?
yeah,
Because we pick this one from time to time.
yeah. The other ones I don't touch. This one I take and roll down and lose 20 gold, but I'm already sad. Like, this is not a big winner. I will take the big winner over this. At least you're
Yeah,
getting some buff or some stat, maybe divine shield on something. Here you're not getting anything
yeah.
else a lot of the time. So it
You have
feels
a
kind
chance for the ice bag, you have a chance for the shields. Even on the house, sometimes, right? You'll take an extra top shelf.
of,
Then.
yeah, for sure. Next one we have friends and family discount. Pretty much never take this. Maybe if you're in Millhouse.
Yeah, this is specifically Millhouse, or you're playing Caligos or something, and you're
Yeah,
just like,
or no
and
more.
and for some reason you think the game is going to go longer than one more turn. I think that's a problem, right?
Yeah,
Whenever these prizes get offered, you're like, okay, it's over next turn.
yeah.
So these are all these long-term oriented prizes, and like, I don't need an aura that's going to last for the rest of the game. That's insane. That's
Yeah,
that's next turn, bro. I have one more turn
it's
here.
a massive bait with the way it's describing.
It's like, for
Like
the
what it
rest of the entire game,
yeah.
you're gonna discount.
What it should say is this turn, minions
Yeah.
in Bob's Town cost more or less, because that's what it is. That's what it is. It's just this turn. The next turn doesn't exist. But people are like, oh, the rest of the game, that's amazing. And they buy it and they die. And they're like, why did I die? It's because this didn't do anything the turn you bought it. And it's just like, it's not good. I don't like it. This one, I could see removed. I don't care. I don't.
Yeah. I think very specifically Millhouse can have a nutty turn, right? Or
But
you're going hard with like double golden hogger, but even then no, you don't need more money.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't. I don't know. It's annoying to me. It doesn't help you win the game. That's the
Make
issue.
it oh god, someone in chat says make it tier 3. No, because then there
It's
is the rest of the
broken. Yeah,
game,
then
right?
it's broken.
There is
Exactly.
the rest of the game.
Yeah,
God, no. Please, God, no.
that's the issue, right? Where you can't move this. You know,
No.
it becomes way too broken if you move it anywhere
But
else.
I think this is the thing, right? So we're obviously looking at it through the lens of our own games. There are plenty of games going on in lower elo where,
No,
hey, game's
no,
not over, baby.
no,
Let's
it's
keep
not.
going.
No, that's not true. You
Dude,
pick it and die. I'm telling
no,
you.
I see screenshots, right, of people high rolling, and that's the thing. It's like, sure, this might not be the right pick statistically. Man, but this one time I did pick it and the game went on for another 3 turns. My God, look at this board, baby.
A-
Everything's golden.
And
Hey, it's so
and this
nice.
didn't make them win. You know what I mean? Like they were.
It could have. It could have if the other person was pretty strong, but they still had a block or what yada yada yada. But yeah, obviously you're not here to convince me that you're like, oh, this card is actually bad. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think you should pick this very often, but I think sometimes we need to just remind ourselves that not everything is designed for, the hardcore player. And it's just like, yeah, this is something that it's a feel good card. It's like, yes, more
I
golds,
feel
minions are
horrible.
cheaper. Yes, I want to play it.
I feel horrible when I pick this or I see it in my options. So maybe this is the wrong feeling that they're inspiring. I think.
That's because you know it's bad. For someone that doesn't know it's bad, they don't feel bad.
Yeah, but then let's say they don't know it's bad, and then like later on they realize, oh, it's bad, and then they think to all their games in the
But
past where they
now
picked
they're
this, and
better
they
players, and
have
they
a
can do it.
huge regret, a huge
They've
mental
changed
scar,
their ways.
where they're like, oh, I've been throwing all my
Alright, next
games.
card, Collins. Come on, man. Let's go.
Sure. All right. Give a dog a vote. I like this one. That's
Super, super good. This one is oftentimes the difference between suddenly losing or
the,
winning your fight. Yeah.
whoever gets this wins my lobbies. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's
This
how it.
this this is, if we're talking about moving the needle, this goes like bunk all the way to the other side where you're just like, oh, my foe reaper now gets win. I'm Alec here.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that's
Weapon in
the
the
issue.
front.
I'm Alec here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super annoying when they just cleave your board, right? Like, it's so annoying because like if you don't get this, sometimes you're like I've lost because someone like they got it or something, right? And then you just get rolled, and sometimes it's like it even works in scam comp too. Like that's another thing, right?
Yeah.
Because like
I was gonna point that out. It's like super good at scam comp.
yeah, so you were tying with your opponent, right? Like oh da 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 oh you have one more poison or one divine above me, and that's why we're tying all these games. And then it's like oh here's the difference. Now you can't tie anymore and you just lose. So it works in a lot of cases. It's just so flexible to win. The 10-10
Yeah.
sometimes relevant as well.
The coolest way I've seen this used was to counter a scam comp where they put this on a ghoul. So the ghoul not only like procs the divine shield of the thing it attacks, but then kills the thing it attacks and removes the shields off everything else and kills the spores. I was just like, that's so smart. I wish I would have thought of that. So that ghoul just destroyed the entire scam comp. And it makes sense because what else are you going to buff? Because the ghoul removes the shields from everything. So you give it to the ghoul actually kills something on its way out and removes all the shields and removes the spores. And it was just beautiful. I was just like, wow, I'm impressed. So yeah, definitely tons of ways to use this. It's hard to not use this card efficiently.
Yeah, but issue is it makes all the other cards just feel like trash. Imagine refreshing your gold. Like your gold isn't giving you divine shield when you're intention. Let me tell you that straight
This
up.
is on the house all over again, right? Where it's just like, did you get on the house? No?
Yeah.
Okay, good talk.
Yeah, the
Did
only
you
thing is
give a dog a bone? No. Okay, good
yeah,
talk.
Yeah, the only thing is you don't see this every game, so it doesn't matter as much. That's
This has nearly no impact on the stats. That's true. This is rare. You rarely go the distance.
yeah. So that's the saving grace. It's almost as broken, but it doesn't matter because it's so much later that the game's already like decided or you're rolling, and it's like okay, so instead of being first, you're second. Who cares? Like a lot of the time, it's like you're not sad about it. So.
Well, sometimes you can feel a little robbed.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
really? I was
True.
gonna beat the guy,
True.
and then you gotta give a dog a bone. Okay, cool. Applause, I guess. Right? Good job. You gotta give a dog a bone.
But it's not that crazy. Long term, it's not as big of a swinger as the other one is. But yeah, this is the one you really like. Super flexible, can change games on Wind Fury on some big cleaves and stuff like that. Not big, but big units and stuff like that. It does a lot. So good card. Also, it makes you respect Alec here. You know, another thing. Yeah, with cleaves. You know,
Where do you get late game hero power? Yeah.
Next one, open bar. This is same as the friends and family discounted for me. Honestly,
Those are just two worst ones.
Two awful ones. Yeah, I agree.
It's just again the wording, right? Your first 5 refreshes each turn each turn for the entirety of the game. It's like what's one more turn, bro?
So basically,
this is rocking and rolling.
It says
V2.
gain 5 gold. That's what it
this
says.
Is rocking and rolling V2 pretty much.
Yeah, this is a prize, a tier 1 prize.
That's so sad to say, but again, right? It's the whole concept of hey, man, there's lobbies going on in lower tiers where the games don't end straight away. People are a little more, less efficient with their gold. No one's taking that much damage, and maybe there's 3 or 4 more turns left. Who knows?
This is a tier 1 prize. It's the worst one.
It's true, man.
I'm not BSing. This is straight up. Trash. Don't take it. It's so bad. Like, Millhouse, maybe you could be like, yes, it's 10 gold instead of 5.
Yeah, Millhouse breaks the game in a way where everything needs to be reevaluated. Oh, this is unplayable. But actually pretty good for Millhouse.
But even if it's Millhouse, it's still a tier 1 prize. Like.
You would want, you can be Millhouse, but you would give a dog a bone, right? Let's be very clear now.
I would take first tab, or take friends and family discount. Like it's
so first tab for the
is refresher gold. It's 10 gold.
But if you're playing Millhouse and you're very specifically looking for something, there is the chance that you go for 2 turns, right? So if you are very specifically rolling down for something, I could see myself taking this over fresh tab, and then we're talking very
sure. Yeah, sure. It's like,
but
you have to live. That's
that is a precondition, of course.
But yeah, I mean, theoretically, that's very similar, in my opinion. But yeah,
no, you would not want to move it down either, Lucas. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, it'd be broken.
Because it persists, right? Yeah. Because so the reason these prizes, they look insane at face value, but then you realize the game lasts for 1 more turn, so it doesn't matter, right? So and then when you turn it into a 1-turn thing, it's suddenly like, why are you up here? I could be getting give a dog a bone right now. Good talk.
I'm trying to think of like, could this be adjusted to Tavern tier? Like your first 3, that sounds still really strong, right? Because like you compare it to what? Well, I guess you could compare it to the tier 2 unlimited coin. If you made it the first 3 on Tavern 3, maybe that one might be pickable or something like that. I could see that one because you're getting 3 gold for a Tavern 3 prize. This one I can see. The other one, it's hard because you're changing a 1. You can't change. It's already a 1. Minions cost 1 less. You can't make it 2 less or anything. But this one I could maybe see being moved down. I don't know how strong it'd be. That's the issue. But it might be because let's say you're getting like the 4 turns. You're getting 4 turns, right? So. But the thing is, people are gonna hit by the Holy Light and kill you. So it's like, but you're getting 3 gold at least.
I think this is one of those things again where you just say, this is part of Blizzard's design philosophy. We're never going to get them to just design for, the tryhards. So just say like, all right, well, they need to fit those things in, right? The Clown Fiesta
I
things.
don't like that since it's so niche that you never see it, that it can just be bad. Like I don't fix it regardless. Even if you see it in like 2% of games, you should still fix it. Like it's clearly a bad card. It needs adjustments. Do something about it. Just because no one sees it doesn't mean you should just let it live
So
like this.
you're talking about moving it down, or you're talking about fixing it on the same tier?
Either way, I don't care. As long as it's fixed, I don't care what you do to it. Like, I'll
I don't
give
care
you
how you fix
the
it, just
freedom
fix it.
to fix it any way you like. Just fix it. That's my But yeah, I don't like this one. Regardless, I mean, I think this is the worst one out of the pool. So,
Yeah, this one and the friends and family.
and
Those
friends
are
and family, yeah.
the two ones you pretty much never pick.
Fresh tab, I would say don't pick that one either. But sometimes you get 3 options, and those are all the options, so you have to take them. But yeah, those are the worst 3. The other ones are definitely better. And the last one we're talking about is Raise the Stakes. I actually forgot this one existed.
Oh, this one is the nuts.
But yeah, I think it's good. I agree, but I didn't know the name of it. Like when I was like doing the topics, I was like, "Oh, that's what it's called," Because I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." But I do think this one is actually good. This one's solid. Can be game
Yeah, which
deciding.
is my most common target for this one.
Because what Shady does is he buys a selfless, and then he targets it and makes it gold. Isn't that right, Shady?
Or the Baron. I don't,
Don't
sometimes I have a
discriminate.
golden
Yeah,
Selfless.
sure,
Yeah, make
whatever.
a golden Baron. But yeah, one of those two for sure with this thing.
Sure. I
Yeah.
mean, reasonable. I mean, it makes sense, right?
It's so
Uh,
boring, but it's so good,
uh,
right? It's so good.
yeah,
Because what are you making a golden scaling engine for when we talk about, it's the same thing, right? We say that the game is over, right? There is one more turn. Yeah, we can make a golden Cali, and Collins be like, yep, that is true. We can make and we shall make a golden Cali goes. But I feel like a lot of the time it's just like get your end game little pieces ready, right? Get your selfless, get your Baron.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Getting 2 more divine shields or 4, depending on what you're running, it's pretty important, right? Sometimes, like once again, in my opinion, you're both playing scam. That's how you get here. So getting another bubble is the difference between winning or losing. Like it's that simple, right? Either you get it through dog a bone, or you get it through getting a golden selfless. It's the same outcome, right? You're
Yeah.
getting another divine shield bubble, and if you have a baron, then you're winning, right? So um, definitely a good one, a game deciding one. This is something else you're looking for, and this is something you can play towards, right? Like if you know you're gonna get to this tavern tier, then you pick up a selfless, right? It's a very risk-free investment. Just buy a selfless. You hit this, you get a golden one, right? Easy addition, and now you're a lot stronger. So
Because you're almost always gonna want to replace something like a brand, with the
yeah,
selfless anyway, and this
yeah.
just makes it a lot better. I'm trying to think of other just like common targets, but I think it is selfless Baron. And so I guess
Grant,
when
Goldrin. I've done Goldrin.
yeah, I was about to say when you're playing beasts and you hit Macaw or you hit Goldrin, that's also a really good one.
It's usually
Oh,
Goldrin because
scam,
I already
scam
have.
comp, golden Chad, add another golden Chad, super
Oh,
good.
I thought you were saying Golden Eliza, but no, Golden Chad. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Golden,
two
Golden,
golden,
Golden Chad
two
is
golden Chads and a golden Baron, and then a golden Eliza. That's the dream, right?
yeah, Golden Chad is way better than Golden Eliza. I do agree, but yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people figuring out the counter though, like the double taunt. Double taunt's pretty good.
When Void Lord is in, Void
Yeah,
Lord absolutely decimates.
Void Lord, Noyo Mod or Acolyte. Those 2 taunts.
So the Acolyte suffers from getting ghouled, and I see that a lot where people have Baron Ghoul, and then you're just killing the first half straight away, and it's hard to because then there's 3
Okay.
board spaces available because you're gonna have two Skellies die as well. So it's I think that one is tough to counter the Ghoul variant.
Sure, I don't use the Go variant too often, so I guess maybe it's more effective against me in particular. That's fair. I think those are all of them, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So those are all the prizes. This is the prizes from the ones we talked about last week. But overall, I would say these prizes aren't as important because you don't see them as often, right? You'll see the tier 3 prizes if you're surviving. But the tier 4 prizes, you don't see every game, every prize game. Even if you win it, you don't see it every prize game. So it's a lot harder to be like, this is important in terms of like this affects all my games. It doesn't, right? So
Yeah, the game gets played around tier 1 and tier 2 prizes.
yeah, and maybe tier 3.
On that topic, because this is something that we've mentioned many times, but just for anyone that's missed it, you do get better prizes based on your placement in the lobby. If you're in the bottom 4, you get better prizes. What are better prizes? That's specifically a list that Blizzard gave. But for instance, good stuff is considered a better prize. I don't think they say what if the better prizes, just say you get less bad prizes. So you wouldn't get Big Banana, I don't think you would get New Recruit in the first selection. So I have seen Ticketus just int the first 2 turns.
Here you go.
Just making sure you get the bottom. Yeah, okay, thank you. And then pull like 2 good stuffs because you're guaranteed to
I've
not
done
see
that.
Big Banana. Yeah, and that feels pretty good. So it's a relatively small investment, especially for Ticketus because you get X2 return. That we need to play. So I think for the second one, it is pretty common to say, okay, if I lose health here, I don't mind it because I get more chance for on the house. But to actually int for the first prize is something that I hadn't seen yet. So that is pretty cool.
Yeah, look at me. This was not in my in the things. I had to like find it. And how did
That is good. That is fast. I was like Monka Steer, find the thing, find the thing, find the thing.
Yeah, I have like a whole section of like 200 different slides. But I have them organized by what episode, so it's a lot easier to be like, oh yeah, this is like the most recent episode. I can find it. Not too bad, but yeah, that is something to keep in mind. If you're in the bottom half of prizes, you will see better prizes. I'm not fully happy with all the exact like options there, but I would say if you're bottom, right, you're looking for on the house, at least they didn't remove on the house. That's really what I care about, right? If they removed on the house for bottom 4, I'm like, get out of here, but
you don't get this pesky on the house card,
like,
right?
if that was in there, you would have so much complaining, right? Where since like nothing else really matters, right? Since that's not in there, no one cares. But if that alone was in there, you would have post after post like, why is this in there? Da 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 da. But now no one cares because like this is all we're looking for. Kind of
just
funny.
win more. Just don't lose fights. Lol.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, it would almost make more sense. Where you're like, all right,
it
you want
would.
a power level? You want a power level and take damage? No on the house for you, right? Like punished for taking damage.
Oh, that would hurt me. I would.
At the same time, you have the 40 health high rolling hook tusk with 2 gold covers.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
yes, I need to on the house. Give it to me. Give it to me.
But they're already winning anyways, So
Yeah,
I
they
don't
don't
even
need it.
I don't even think about it. Yeah,
Wouldn't make a difference.
yeah, that would be interesting. Like nerf the power lovers. I don't love it. I hate it. I hate it.
Interesting thought, right?
No,
Paul's like,
it's
look at that.
interesting, but it hurts me specifically. I have to change my game plan. What is that?
I'm taking damage, man.
But yeah, that is overall our prize podcast part 2. I think went over all of them. Tier 1, good stuff's good. Tier 2, like this is just tier 2. On the house, pretty good. Anything else as good as that? No. Tier 3, ice block, ice block by the Holy Light. Those are the ones. And then tier 4, give a dog a bone. And then sometimes if Murlocs are out, Argent Braggart. And then other than that, big winner, raise the stakes. I think actually Raise the Stakes might be better than Braggart in a lot of games, as long as you like, because it's easy to preemptively buy a selfless, right? It's not a
Yeah,
complicated thing, right?
I would say it's Dogabone and Razor
And
Stakes.
then
Those
Raise
are
the Stakes. Yeah, I think that actually makes more sense. Yeah, Dogbone and Raise the Stakes. And then if Murlocs are out, then Braggart goes up, and then if nothing else, Big Winner. I think those are the ones I like. All right. That shall be it for us today. Thank you guys for joining us on the podcast. Every week I try to get it under 2 hours, and I some almost fail. I don't know why. Our podcasts are getting longer and longer. It's very weird. I wanna clean it up, but oh well, these are fine either way.
So next time, put the topics out and then remove two. Just be like, all right, that's it.
Move
See how
to
far we get.
Yeah, I don't know, but I like the topics. I work hard on
I
these
like talking.
topics.
It's just if you want to get it under, it is under 2 hours, right? We
Yeah,
could shoot the shit for another 10 minutes and then it's no longer under 2 hours.
yeah, feels better, man. But yeah, thank you for joining me, Shady, and
Happy as always, man. Thanks for making sure everything on the technical side is okay. I know you love doing that, so
every Thursday is pain. Anyways, thank you guys for all the feedback, support. You can send us messages at HSBG podcast. I still would like people's games if you can send those in. Just put the when you died and MMR and just like some feedback about the game. I think if I get a couple of those, I can do some stuff with it. But reach me, Educatedcollins _ Twitch, all that stuff. You can reach Shady Bunny. I like that name. And we'll see you guys next time, probably.
have a good one, guys. Thank you for listening.
Peace. All right.